Hello, everyone, and welcome to our presentation of what's new in ThingWorx 9.1. I'm Joe Byron, the General Manager of the IoT product segment here at PTC. And today I'm joined by several of my colleagues in the product and IoT community here at PTC. Sebastian Bergner, a Senior Solution Enterprise Architect, Chris Baldwin, Vice President of Product Management, Ward Bowman, our Senior Director of Product Management, and Kaya Petrone, Associate Product Manager. These folks form our team who are defining the features and are the experts at explaining and demonstrating the features that we've been hard at work on. So in ThingWorx 9.1, we've been hard at work on some powerful new features. First and foremost, we've been very much focusing on enabling our customers' solutions with the platform. Solutions in the areas of remote service and monitoring. We've been hard at work at making sure that our remote service and remote access technology is scalable and has better support for multiple applications simultaneously. And we've also been tuning our global access server network, which gives points of presence for your connected assets globally. We've also enhanced our ThingWorx Operator Advisor application, which Ward will detail. And we've made investments and improvements to our ThingWorx Navigate. So remembering that Navigate is a solution for digital engineering very closely aligned to product lifecycle management solutions empowered by the ThingWorx platform. We think of these solution areas up top as being very close to your use cases, but importantly, those solutions are powered by the very powerful and award-winning ThingWorx platform. In the ThingWorx platform, we've been improving the fundamental capabilities of the platform in support of these advanced solution areas. ThingWorx Composer with enhancements around mashup builder projects and improved widgets. Widgets, again, in support of some of the solution areas, such as Operator Advisor. And as par for any enterprise software, but particularly important for industrial Internet of Things, we have an ongoing commitment to keep our platform as secure as possible. And in some respects, that means making sure that our third-party libraries and other subsystems that we take advantage of are the latest and most up-to-date. And we always are pushing the envelope on advanced security scanning tools in support, again, of the assurance that your customers and your users are enjoying the benefits and safety from those security improvements. We've also made updates to our Kepware server. Kepware server is not exactly the ThingWorx 9.1 release. It is a complementary product which has its own release cycle. Nevertheless, whenever we release ThingWorx and Kepware, we make sure that they are working together synergistically as part of an entire platform. So with Kepware, we've been making advancements in IT/OT integration and making Kepware even more at home within an enterprise IT environment with things such as Active Directory integration. So without myself getting too deeply into the details, I'd like to introduce my team so that they can talk more about those details. So I'd like to introduce again Ward Bowman, our product manager on Operator Advisor. Over to you, Ward.
Thank you very much. For Operator Advisor, what we've added in 9.1 is the ability to cache the data elements, the work instructions that you pull down from NPM Link. What this does is allows customers that use the work definitions over and over again in their systems to actually pull it down once. If you pulled down the work instructions 50 times a week and the average time was about 5 minutes to pull each one down and process the process plan, this will save you over 250 minutes of time in the week. One of the key features is we did not change anything to the OA database, so the 9.1 upgrade will actually work with all your 9.0 and previous versions of Operator Advisor. And the worker definitions are marked with cached and non-cached. This allows you to look through this SQL database and the OA database to validate which work instructions are cached, which ones are not, and you can actually use that. This allows you to basically use that data to reference back all the work instructions to their cached version. What this means is if you ran the same work definition multiple times for different job orders, you can actually see they all came from the same process plan or the NPM pulled down. And this allows you to basically compare work definition to work definition. If you use filtering from a 9.0 feature that we added, it allows you to create different variations of the work definitions based on the different filters you use. So you can have the same work definition with different filters pulled down from Windchill, and these can be read down as different cached versions and allowing you to save different options that you might run multiple times during the day. We'll hand it over now to Sebastian to actually give you a live demo.
Thank you, Ward. Let's get started by taking a look into the demo manufacturing planning application. Some of our work definitions are longer and have more content than others. As we can see here, this work definition contains the full work instructions to assemble a snowmobile. We see all the different steps. We have way more than in the other work definitions, as well as all the different operations with all types of attachments, contents, and material that is behind it. So it makes sense to cache this specific work definition so we don't have to synchronize it again from the Windchill server. The demo applications come with a set of utilities, like the service that I can use to enter the work definition UID and set the isCached flag in the metadata. I can see now in the demo applications that this specific work definition has the isCached flag and is saved in the operator advisor database. Let's create a new job order that is using our work definition that is now saved in the database. Under the work definition tab, I can now link my work definitions that are saved and cached in the operator advisor database. If we go back now to the work definition menu item, we can see that Operator Advisor has created a copy of the work definitions that are cached in the database. This saves a lot of time and network load for all of our customers that are using Operator Advisor.
All right, great. Thank you, Sebastian and Ward. So now we'd like to cut over to Chris Baldwin, who's going to talk about some of our advancements in the core platform, including but not limited to new support for OPC UA. Over to you, Chris.
All right, thanks, Joe. So as we all know, OPC UA is a very, very important standard for IoT and manufacturing. And in 9.0, we had a great release of the Azure IoT Hub connector and enhancements to both Kepware and ThingWorx platform that really made OPC UA, a great way to work with data in the ThingWorx platform. In 9.1, we've now enhanced the Azure IoT Hub connector for ThingWorx with new capability for high availability with ThingWorx platform in building on some of the great work that we did in 9.0. We've also achieved horizontal scalability in that now you can have multiple IoT Hub connectors as part of your ThingWorx platform, which can then also support many OPC UA publishers from your Azure IoT Edge or also coming through Kepware. So this is really exciting. It's also a backbone technology for our Factory Insights as a service solution. And we believe it's going to be a key, these enhancements to Azure IoT Hub and better support for OPC UA are really vital parts of our manufacturing strategy for ThingWorx going forward. So let's take a look at it in action. Seb, take it away.
Let's start taking a look into our setup. We're using ThingWorx Kepware Server as OPC server and to connect to our talk tool that we want to integrate in our work instructions that we have seen earlier. We already have our talk tool connected to Kepware. And using the OPC Quick Client, we can see that the data is available using the OPC UA protocol. On the same machine, we are running the Azure IoT Edge services, including the OPC UA twin. This allows us to discover our OPC server and to publish the data into IoT Hub. When all the configurations are set, we can start our Azure IoT Hub connector on the ThingWorx server side. After starting the batch service, we can see that the IoT Hub connector thing shows up as connected in Composer. We can also see now a new object in the industrial connection list. This is our Kepware server that gets represented by the Azure IoT Hub device ID. I will just add a description that makes it easier to identify this object in ThingWorx. After setting the project and saving the entity in Composer, we can use the Discover tab to browse through all the tags that are available in Kepware. We found our talk tool on the bottom of the tag structure. We can now use the different data tags to bind them to a new entity in ThingWorx.
Really great stuff. So now I'd like to tell you a little bit more also about some of the enhancements that we've made within ThingWorx for our developers. So effectively what you'll see here is a new project view in the Composer, and this is a great way for you to now organize your content. It's a navigation view, and so you can now look at your things and shapes and templates and mashups and all the great pieces that make up your solution. You now have ability to kind of browse those very, very easily within the Composer. And then what you also have the ability to do is through a little dependency capability we've added, you can now crawl the network of your dependencies from this project view and look at what other modules you're dependent upon. If you make changes within your project, what changes it may have up and downstream within your work. And it also, of course, use of projects is a great way to leverage our packaging and deployment enhancements that we've made recently with Solution Central. So the project view is a very, very key piece of ways of working more efficiently within ThingWorx platform and bringing better development and efficiency to your projects and building blocks and application development. We've also introduced new widgets into the platform as well. One example of that is our Pareto analysis widget. You can see here on the screen. This is a great way for you to look at maybe loss reasons, or maybe quality and defect densities, or maybe even categorizations of alerts that happen for your devices. So the Pareto analysis tool is a great way to look at that within ThingWorx. You can see it here as part of our upcoming digital performance management solution, but it's also available as a widget within the Mashup Builder for your own applications. Seb, why don't we take a look at what we have for new enhancements to ThingWorx Mashup Builder and Composer?
Before we are jumping into the new Mashup Builder functionality, I would like to show you some new features we made around projects in Composer. As you may have seen earlier in this demo, project is now a required field for all new entities in ThingWorx. To make it easier for the user, you can set the selected project as project context. That means that every new entity that you create will have automatically the right project set that you're working on. In the left main menu, you can find a new project view that makes it easy to access all your entities from all your projects. The first widget I would like to show you is the Pareto chart. Pareto charts can be very useful to visualize downtime reasons or production issues for manufacturing lines. After binding the source data to our new widget, we can start customizing our chart based on our requirements. My Pareto chart shows different bars for each day of the week, and the size is depending on the total downtime of the day. Each different colored block is one reason of downtime that occurred on this specific day. The blue line shows the percentage over the week of the total downtime over the week. Let's take a look onto this line chart that visualizes the values that we are receiving from our talk tool that we have connected earlier. Because the RPM is in a way higher value range than the other two values, it's very hard to read this chart. And the list below shows a long list of all the values that we can see in the chart. Let's see how we can improve both widgets with new functionality in Mashup Builder. First, we added the feature to configure a secondary y-axis for all of the new charts. This makes it way easier to identify and visualize values that are in different value ranges. Another new widget that can help with the visualization of a lot of data points is the chip-based data filter. The configuration is very similar to the old data filter widget. I'm using the data that I want to filter and bind the query back to my query service. Let's see how that works. First, we can see how the secondary y-axis now displays the RPM on top of the other two values, and it makes it way easier to read. The data filter is easy to use. First, we are selecting the value that we want to filter by, and then the condition, like above, below, or equal. And we are setting the value that we want to use. After clicking apply, we can see how the condition is saved in this chip form, and we can easily add more of them. After saving two or more of those data filters, we see how we can switch between AND and OR operations. The last new widget I would like to show you is the pagination widget. The pagination widget allows us to page through different types of data sets by selecting the page number and the page size. To use this new widget, we need a specific service that can use this page size and number and returns the data accordingly. We are binding the page number and page size into the input variables of the service and then return the data into our grid. We can see now in our mashup how the grid just displays 10 different data points, and we can page by using the pagination widget through the different data sets. We can also use the jump to page functionality to jump to a specific page number.
All right, great stuff, Chris and Seb. So now I'd like to introduce Kaya Patron, who will tell us about updates to Solution Central. Now, you may remember we first released Solution Central a couple of ThingWorx releases ago. Since then, it's proven to be wildly popular with those customers who have taken it for a spin, and in fact now viewed as a mission-critical part of their ThingWorx solutions because of the manageability that Solution Central provides, which is exactly what the doctor ordered for high-scale, scaled-out IoT solutions. Kaya, why don't you tell us about what's new?
Awesome, thanks, Joe. So for Solution Central 2.0, we're introducing integration with Azure Active Directory so that you can manage and authenticate your users all by yourself. All we need is your Azure tenant ID, and you'll be on your way to smooth solution management. No more submitting tickets through PTC support. Simply log into Azure, add your users to the Solution Central Enterprise app, and begin deploying. Let's jump right to the demo.
Let's walk through the process of granting Seb access now. I'll log into my Azure portal. I'll go to the left-hand hamburger menu, search Azure Active Directory. And just to be sure that he's in my directory, I'll click Users. I'll see that he is in fact here, listed in my Azure Active Directory. If he weren't, for example, if he were a new employee at the company, I could easily add him by clicking New User and then Create User. But since Sebastian has been with the company for a while, I know that he's already in my directory. So now what I'll do is I will go back to my test customer 1, so you can think of this as your organization's name, and I'll go to Enterprise Applications. From there, I'll select the application that I'd like to provide Seb access to. So I'll click Solution Central. I'll then go over to Users and Groups. I can see that he is not listed here as somebody who has access to the Solution Central. I'll click Add User. I will select him in my users. So I'll search for Seb. There he is. I'll click Select. I'll assign his role. I'd like him to be a Customer Global Admin. So we think of this as the person who's responsible for distributing applications and making sure that they are in the appropriate instances and they're updated and so forth. I'll click select, and now I'll click assign. So we can see now that the list has updated and Seb is now listed, and now he should receive an email from invites@microsoft.com with our company's unique Solution Central URL. And from there, he'll be able to log in and publish solutions that he's developed to Solution Central.
All right, fantastic. Thanks so much, Kaya. And really thank you, Ward, Chris, Seb, and Kaya for those great product demos and explanations. So as we look forward at our investment roadmap for ThingWorx, for sure, you can expect to see more investment in our solutions for manufacturing, particularly this idea of manufacturing performance management, something that Operator Advisor, as Ward described today, plays a role in, but we see a larger picture in the kinds of manufacturing efficiencies and solutions for those efficiencies that our manufacturing customers would like to see solved. In the connected product world, you can see, look forward to seeing advancements in product intelligence, so more pre-built application workflows for the most common use cases of remote monitoring and remote service in the form of service optimization. So I mentioned at the beginning some of our advancements for our remote access features and our global access server network. That's just one part of the infrastructure, the solution platform infrastructure required for an end-to-end service optimization use case. And we're committed to completely realizing those use cases as our customers bring their needs into the next decade. We also, across those categories of building blocks and pre-built applications and workflows, we're looking to take our advancements that we've made over the last several years in advanced analytics and AI and apply those towards the everyday use cases that operators and technicians interact with in the context of doing their job through ThingWorx-based applications. So, very much the spirit of taking these advanced tools and the evolution of artificial intelligence and machine learning and the state-of-the-art capabilities that we've leveraged in ThingWorx Analytics and applying those throughout the entire ThingWorx stack. We also recognize that as industrial IoT has become a mainstream concept, many of our customers need to make constant decisions around where data should be kept for analysis, business logic, and archival. Should the data be moved from the edge to the cloud? Do I run my analytics job in the cloud? How often should I publish data from my edge device, which might be in a bank or inside a manufacturing plant? We would like to, over time, automate many of those decisions, much like a modern operating system that we enjoy on our smartphones and laptops, make many automated decisions about where memory and how disk access happens. We would like to bring that same concept of it just works. You don't have to think about where to move the data to, how often to sample it. We would like to automate that, and we call that a truly unified distributed IoT architecture, something that's a point of research in architectural proof of concept today, and something that you'll see incrementally rolling out in the ThingWorx platform. And as always, as I mentioned up front, these non-functional capabilities, some would call them the IIoTs, scalability, availability, manageability. We're committed to staying ahead of the curve as our customers are looking for more deployments, 200 factories with ThingWorx implementations, 1 million, 2 million connected assets for a smart connected product service optimization use case. We want to be way ahead. We believe with the ThingWorx 9.x series, we are already far ahead, but we're committed to staying on that treadmill far in front of you and in doing whatever is necessary to continue to be best in class. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for your time today. Please be sure to visit the ptc.com website. You see the URL here on your screen to learn more about ThingWorx 9.1. Many other features and enhancements in the release notes. We tried to hit the highlights here today, but if you have any questions, you know how to find us. Thank you, everyone.